In the sun-drenched lands of Arabia, a name was whispered on the wines, a name that echoed with power and mystique, the Queen of Sheba. She was more than a ruler. She was a legend. Her kingdom, rich with gold, spices, and precious stones, was the envy of the world. But it wasn't her wealth that defined her, it was her mind. A mind as sharp as obsidian, a thirst for knowledge that could not be quenched. Far to the north, in the magnificent city of Jerusalem, reigned another ruler of renown, King Solomon. Tales of his wisdom traveled on merchant caravans, reaching every corner of the known world. They said he could understand the language of animals, that he could solve any riddle, and that his judgments were so profound, they seemed to come from God himself. These stories sparked a fire in the Queen of Sheba's heart. Was this man truly as wise as they claimed? Or were these just exaggerated tales spun by travelers over campfires? She had to know. The desire to test this legendary king became an obsession. So, she decided to embark on a journey, a monumental undertaking that would test the limits of her resources and her resolve. She gathered the greatest caravan her kingdom had ever seen. Camels laden with unimaginable treasures, gold in such quantities it could build a palace, spices so rare their scent perfumed the desert air for miles, and jewels that glittered with the light of 1,000 stars. But these were not just gifts, they were a statement, a demonstration of her own power and stature. She was not coming as a mere visitor, she was coming as an equal. The journey was long and perilous. The caravan snaked through treacherous deserts, where the sun beat down mercilessly, and the shifting sands threatened to swallow them whole. They navigated winding mountain passes, where a single misstep could mean disaster. Bandits watched from the shadows, their eyes gleaming at the sight of such wealth. But the Queen of Sheba's guards were vigilant, and her own determination was a shield against all danger. Day after day, she pushed onward, her gaze fixed on the northern horizon, her mind alight with the riddles she had prepared for the king. Finally, after months of travel, the golden city of Jerusalem appeared before them, its walls shimmering in the sunlight. The city was abuzz with news of her arrival. People lined the streets, their faces a mixture of awe and curiosity, as the magnificent caravan made its way to the royal palace. The sheer scale of her retinue, the splendor of her gift set was a spectacle unlike any they had ever witnessed. King Solomon, hearing of her approach, came out to greet her. When she finally stood before him, the air crackled with anticipation. This was the moment she had traveled so far for. She looked at Solomon, her eyes searching for a sign of the legendary wisdom she had heard so much about. He met her gaze with a calm, welcoming smile. There was no arrogance in his eyes, only a quiet confidence that was both disarming and intriguing. The testing began. The Queen of Sheba, with a sharp glint in her eye, presented her first riddle. It was a complex and intricate question, designed to confound and confuse. The court held its breath. Solomon listened intently, a faint smile playing on his lips. Without a moment's hesitation, he gave the answer, an answer so clear, so insightful, that a murmur of astonishment rippled through the hall. She was taken aback, but not defeated. She posed another riddle, even more difficult than the first. And again, Solomon unraveled it with effortless grace. One by one, she presented her hardest questions, the intellectual puzzles she had spent months crafting. She brought forth two identical flowers, one real and one artificial, and challenged him to identify the real one without touching them. The court was stumped, but Solomon simply ordered the windows to be opened. A bee flew in and immediately landed on the real flower. With each answer, The Queen of Sheba's initial skepticism began to melt away, replaced by a growing sense of wonder and deep respect. This was no ordinary king. His wisdom was not just knowledge. It was a profound understanding of the world, of human nature, of life itself. She realized the stories had not been exaggerated. If anything, they had not done him justice. Over the next days, they spoke for hours on end. She questioned him about everything: governance, philosophy, justice, the nature of God. Solomon shared his insights freely, his words flowing like a river of knowledge. He showed her the magnificent temple he had built, a masterpiece of architecture and devotion. He walked her through his palaces, explaining the systems he had created to ensure fairness and prosperity for his people. The Queen of Sheba was completely captivated. She saw that his wisdom was not just an intellectual gift. It was the foundation upon which his entire kingdom was built. It was reflected in the happiness of his people, the peace in his lands, and the awe-inspiring beauty of his city. She had come to test a king, but she had found a teacher, a kindred spirit whose intellect matched her own. The time came for her to depart. As she prepared her caravan for the journey home, her heart was full. She stood before Solomon one last time, no longer as a challenger, but as an admirer. She showered him with the treasures she had brought, but these gifts now had a new meaning. They were not a display of power, but a token of her immense gratitude and respect. "Everything I heard about you in my own country is true," she declared, her voice filled with emotion. "But I did not believe it until I came and saw it with my own eyes. In fact, I was not told even half of it. Your wisdom and prosperity far exceed the report I heard. How happy your people must be! Praise be to the Lord your God, who has delighted in you and placed you on the throne." As her caravan disappeared over the horizon, Solomon was left with more than just gold and spices. He was left with the honor of having his wisdom recognized by one of the world's most intelligent and powerful rulers. And the Queen of Sheba returned to her kingdom a changed woman. She had sought to measure a king's wisdom, and in doing so, had found a new depth of understanding within herself. The story of their meeting became a timeless legend, a powerful testament to the idea that true wealth is not found in gold or jewels, but in wisdom. It is a reminder that a sharp mind and a curious heart can earn you something far more valuable than riches, honor, respect, and a legacy that will echo through the ages. The Queen of Sheba came seeking a challenge, and she left with a treasure far greater than any she had brought. The treasure of knowledge. Thank you for watching. If you were inspired by this story of wisdom and honor, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tales from history that continue to teach us today. See you in the next video.